does it take to achieve a more natural sound when you speak in American English pronunciation? Today we are going to be taking a look at two files, get some feedback on what are they doing differently than what native speakers are doing, and maybe you'll be able to apply some of this to your own speech. Good morning, guys. Good evening. Good afternoon. Welcome to your American English pronunciation review show, the Schwa Mill. We are here Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays around 7:30 a.m. New York. And to guide you in this process, there's me. Hey, my name is Jeff. It rhymes with breath. That's one of the 4 keys to a natural sound in American English, including placement, pitch, breath. Trying to weaken your consonant sounds in order to strengthen your vowel sounds. I do want to highlight a sponsor for today's show, which is actually my own program. We have a program called Magnet Lab, which meets every single day for 30 minutes. In every single class, we look at 2 audio or video files during that half hour. And we as a community kind of talk about it and discuss what are some things that sound natural to us, things that sound a little bit off. We're looking at things like body language. We're looking at presentation. We're looking at voice quality. We're looking at pronunciation. All of these things to guide you to become a more effective communicator. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, I encourage you to go visit fluentamerican.com/magnetlab. Let us begin with our first audio file. As I play this, think about yourself being a teacher and what sort of things would you notice and advice would you give? Let's take a listen to our first one here.
How's it going today, Jeff? Yes. I just really want to say that you're absolutely one in a million.
I appreciate those kind words. One thing that I am really drawn to here are elements of contrast, including pitch, speed. Those are the first 2 that kind of stand out to me. Let's listen to this again and talk about it.
How's it going today, Jeff? Yes. I just really want to say that you're absolutely one in a million.
Okay. Maybe a little bit of contrast. It's okay. So some parts of this, I'll be honest, if I didn't listen to this often, I may have needed you to repeat yourself a couple times. And one of that is because there's a lot of sections here where you're giving me syllable, syllable, syllable that are all very similar to each other in pitch. Now, something that helps that you're doing is you have a lot of variety in terms of speed. There's a lot of sections that go quickly, and there's also some sections that go slowly. For instance, you can hear in the beginning it's very fast, like the part where you say your greeting, but then at the end where you say like 1 in a million, you really slow things down. So I like that you're paying attention to speed there. For these areas where you're going faster, it's going to become especially important to incorporate some other elements of contrast. Otherwise, people are going to have a hard time understanding you. To give you an example.
How's it going today, Jeff?
Okay. It's like the how's it going today? Those syllables in terms of a pitch range are all very similar. And then when you hear Jeff, Jeff becomes very easy to hear because Jeff does a noticeable drop in pitch. See if you can hear that.
How's it going today, Jeff?
Okay. It's like, how's it going? How's it going today, Jeff? How's it going today? How's it going today? Versus something you want to consider when you have thought groups. So you have this thought group that says like, how's it going today? Okay. And it seems like your stress is on the word today. So let's check that again.
How's it going today, Jeff?
Okay. You could also make the argument that maybe it's one thought group stress on Jeff, but let's group it into 2 parts. Like, how's it going today? Thought group, Jeff, thought group. The first thought group maybe stresses on today, which means that when you have the stress in the thought group, remember that all the syllables before are going to be moving down in pitch. Like, how's it going today? How's it going today? And remember that right before your stress, you want to take an extra step down in pitch. It's like, how's it going today, Jeff? How's it going today, Jeff? That a range like that would be a little bit easier to understand for me as a listener. It's like, how's it going today? How's it going today? How's it going today? How's it going today, Jeff? Okay. I think there's another section here where that sort of attention to pitch would be really helpful. I'll play another one.
How's it going today, Geoff? This. I just really want to say that you're absolutely.
It's like, I just really want to say that really want to say that that pitch sequence again, we're all very similar. Like, versus like, really want to say that Do you see that I just kind of increased that pitch range? Really just want to say that I really just want to say that I really just want to say that Okay, so again, just trying to increase that movement there as well. So I'd like you to continue doing what you're doing speed-wise. I really like what you're doing with speed-wise, but I want you also to be a little bit more aware of the pitch ranges you're using and make sure every syllable really has some differences between it. Okay. I'm going to move on to our second audio file, but thank you so much for sending that one. We appreciate it. Second audio file.
Oh man, look at these Maine men. They're all mean.
Okay, thank you for sending this as well. Let's play this one more time.
Oh man, look at these Maine men. They're all mean.
Okay. I think overall this sounds very good. Like, I'd like that, for instance, just incorporating sounds beyond just words, right? So, for instance, like starting off with the laugh and things like that. I also think you're getting a lot of breath through this, which is great. Let's play again.
Oh man, look at these Maine men. They're all mean.
Yeah, and you can hear a lot of breath work, which is great. And one of the reasons you can hear that is because we're playing around with element of contrast that I call firmness. Firmness is like this. This is firm. This is firm right now. I'm talking very firm. Versus this is soft. Right now I'm talking a little softer. This is firm. This is soft. And what you can hear happening, and this can be very difficult for many students to do, but I think it's done very well here. You can hear the transition from firm to soft, even in individual words.
Oh man, look at these Maine men. They're all
like Maine men. You can hear that men kind of start softening, Maine being a little firmer and things like that. So I really like what you're doing with the contrast here. I want to talk a little bit about placement for some things.
Oh man, look at these Maine men. They're all mean.
Now, I want to preface this by saying that if we're shadowing, there is a chance that the way you're shadowing it is exactly what the native speaker did. So I'm not saying that what you're doing right here is wrong. What I am saying is I'd like us to have awareness of what's happening. And there's a couple sections where I hear the placement going high. So I want to highlight that for you. Look at these Maine men. Listen to that part and tell me, where do you think the placement goes higher?
Oh man, look at these Maine men. They're all mean.
Okay. For me, it's that word main, which is very common. A common sound that I see students struggling placement-wise is that A sound, A. It's like in the word like main. And that A sound can get even more complicated when you have the letter N that comes after it. It's like main. We don't want to do like main. Another thing that happens a lot with these A sounds that link with N is like a separation, where some students add an extra sound. So saying things like man, like these men. We want to make sure we're not doing either of those things in general, unless the thing that we're shadowing is doing that. Okay. So I would check the original audio if you're shadowing and see if the word main potentially has a little bit of a lower placement.
Oh man, look at these Maine men. They're
like Maine men. Look at these Maine men versus look at these Maine men. Look at these Maine men. So, something like that. So I would just be kind of taking an eye at that section there. You can also hear, and maybe this is because the placement goes higher, everything's very fluid, but then when we get to Maine men, it starts chopping up a little bit. It's like, look at these Maine men versus like, look at these Maine men.
Oh man, look at these Maine men. They're
okay, so just kind of watching out for that. The other place where I feel like the placement goes high, so I would check the audio file to see, are we doing what they're doing or are we deviating, is at the end. Listen to how we say the word mean.
Oh man, look at these Maine men. They're all mean.
They're all mean. You can really hear that placement go high, and there's a lot of tightening going on through the throat and chest area. They're all mean, which the advantage of that is it makes the word sound much more emphasized. It becomes a lot more stressed by doing that. But sometimes that's happening unintentionally, right? The other thing I'll say is that that placement on mean is really high. Okay, it's like mean. That E becomes closer to how a lot of our first languages operate, with higher placement, doing like an E sound. But American English in general doesn't have an E as much as it has an E. Okay. The other thing that could be happening here, you might have a perfect E sound, but when you put it next to a letter, for instance, like the letter M has a tendency to raise the placement for a lot of students because a lot of us are pronouncing the letter M like but American English pronounces M more like You hear a difference between and You're more likely to hear the second one, the So when we say me, we don't want to say me. We want to say more me. And it also works the other way as well with, again, the letter N. We want to make sure for that N sound similar, we don't raise the placement too high in general. So again, it's not like n, where the placement's really high for that N sound. Instead, it's usually going to sound more like So it's not een as much as it's een. Okay, mean. And I mentioned earlier again that when you link a vowel onto the letter N, in general, you don't want to add any extra vowel sounds. And we might be getting a little bit of an extra vowel sound in this audio.
Oh man, look at these Maine men. They're all mean.
Mean versus mean. They're all mean. Okay, so there is a little bit of vowel shifting happening towards the end there. But again, check the original audio that you're shadowing because there's a chance some native speakers may be doing that. What I'd like us to build is just our awareness of what we're doing. All right. Once again, if you're enjoying this feedback and you're like, man, it would be helpful to have my own audio reviewed, a couple of things. We have a Telegram group that's free that you can join where you can see in the video description. We also have a Telegram group where you can get feedback from me every day because these streams are really only 3 days a week and we only look at 2 files. If you join the official Telegram group, we can give you feedback every day. And then our last opportunity is the Magnet Lab, where we give you even more focus. We look at 2 people's audio and video files. We're especially interested not just in pronunciation, but communication. If you want to get more comfortable speaking, public speaking, in meetings, in leading conversations, in just being more aware of your body language and the impact you have on people when you communicate with them, that's what the Magnet Lab is for. All right, guys, I do have to head out, but thanks for hanging out with me. There's a lot of pronunciation resources out there, so the fact that you spent some of your time here is greatly appreciated. I'll see you all later. Hope you have a good weekend. Hope you have a good day, have a good night, and a good afternoon. All right, bye. Take care.